The smell was always the first thing that pulled people in. It wasn't just the regular aroma of food, it was something deeper, something that made your stomach twist with hunger the moment you passed by. Mama Ifeanyi's restaurant, Heavenly Taste, sat at the heart of Obele Street. It wasn't the biggest or the fanciest, but it was the most talked about. People came from all over to eat her food, swearing that nothing else tasted like it. No one could explain why, but once you ate there, you always came back. On this particular afternoon, the restaurant was packed. Businessmen in suits sat beside market women licking their fingers. A banker in a neat tie sighed in pleasure as he chewed a spoonful of jollof rice, while two school teachers shared a plate of egusi soup, their eyes closing in satisfaction. At the counter, Mama Ifeanyi smiled as she collected money. She was a round, motherly woman in her late 40s, her skin dark and smooth from years of standing over hot fires. She had built this business from nothing, struggling for years before finally discovering the secret that changed her life. In the kitchen, she moved quickly, stirring a steaming pot of ogbono soup. Her heart pounded as she reached into the small drawer beside her stove. She checked the door, locked, as always. No one could see what she was about to do. With a steady hand, she pulled out a tiny pair of scissors. Then, lifting her wrapper slightly, she reached down, snipped a single strand of her pubic hair, and let it drop into the pot. She stirred quickly, her breath shaky, whispering a silent prayer. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the weight of knowing what this small act could do. The first time she had done it, she was just a desperate widow trying to save her dying business. But now, after years of success, she no longer questioned it. The pot of soup bubbled, filling the air with its irresistible scent. Outside, customers sniffed the air eagerly, waiting for their plates. None of them knew the truth. And as Mama Ifeanyi wiped her hands and unlocked the door, she reminded herself, no one would ever find out. The restaurant was full of happy chatter and clinking plates. Everyone enjoyed their food, unaware of the secret hidden in every dish. At that moment, Reverend Ebube, a kind and quiet man, walked slowly into Heavenly Taste. His eyes were gentle, and his smile was soft, as if he carried a peaceful secret in his heart. Reverend Ebube found a seat in the middle of the room. He ordered a simple bowl of ogbono soup and a plate of rice, and he sat there quietly. Before he began to eat, he bowed his head and whispered a small prayer. The soft words flowed like a gentle stream, reaching deep into his soul. As soon as the Reverend finished his prayer and took a bite of his soup, something strange happened. A sour, stinky smell spread through the room. The aroma that once made everyone smile now turned into a smell that made their noses wrinkle in disgust. People paused, their eyes widening in shock. Some coughed, others pushed their plates away, confused and frightened. Mama Ifeanyi, busy in her kitchen, heard the sudden commotion. Her heart pounded as she rushed to see what was wrong. When she stepped into the dining room, she saw the Reverend sitting calmly at his table while the room filled with angry voices. "What is happening?" someone shouted. "The food smells terrible now." In the quiet corner, Amaka watched with growing worry. Her mind raced, and she wondered if this was a sign of something deeper, a truth long hidden. As customers began to murmur and point fingers at Mama Ifeanyi, her eyes filled with tears. She felt a heavy mix of regret and fear. The once warm, inviting restaurant now trembled under the weight of mystery and dismay. Reverend Ebube's gentle voice broke the rising chaos. "I prayed only over my meal. If there is a fault, it must be hidden in the food." His calm words made everyone pause and think. In that moment, the secret of the food began to unravel, leaving every heart wondering what dark mystery lay behind Mama Ifeanyi's famous dishes. After the chaos in the dining room, a heavy silence settled over Heavenly Taste. The smell of ruined soup still clung to the air, a reminder that something was very wrong. In the dim light of the kitchen, Amaka's heart pounded as she stepped away from the crowd. Determined to understand the mystery, she moved slowly among the pots and pans, careful not to disturb anything. In a quiet corner, hidden beneath a wooden shelf, Amaka discovered a small, leather-bound diary. The cover was worn with age, and its pages carried a gentle, faded ink. She sat down on an old stool and opened the diary with trembling fingers. The diary belonged to Mama Ifeanyi, and its first few lines told a story of hardship and hope. It spoke of a young widow struggling to keep her family together. In desperate times, a mysterious old woman had visited her and whispered secrets of a hidden power, a power that could change her fate. The diary explained how the old woman had told Mama Ifeanyi that a small lock of hair held a magic that could bring success. It described the ritual in simple, clear words that even a child could understand. Mama Ifeanyi had been promised that her restaurant would prosper and that her pain would soon end if she kept the secret ritual. As Amaka read on, her eyes widened with shock and sadness. The diary hinted at a dark price, a promise that might have taken more from Mama Ifeanyi than she had ever imagined. Meanwhile, Reverend Ebube sat in a quiet corner of the dining room. He observed the scattered whispers and the fearful eyes of the customers. His simple prayer had broken the spell that bound the food, revealing the hidden truth behind it. He felt that the prayer was not just an act of faith, but also a call to bring the truth to light. With the diary clutched in her hands, Amaka felt a chill run down her spine. The echoes of Mama Ifeanyi's past were now clear, and Amaka resolved to uncover every secret. As night fell outside, the mystery deepened, a mystery that would soon force everyone at Heavenly Taste to confront a painful and unexpected truth. Amaka stepped slowly into the quiet kitchen. The room was dim, and the only sound was the soft bubbling of a pot on the stove. Mama Ifeanyi sat near the old stove, her face half hidden in shadow. Clutched tightly in Amaka's hand was the worn leather diary. With a shaky voice, she said, "Mama, we must talk now." Mama Ifeanyi lifted her eyes. They were full of fear and regret. "What is it, Amaka?" she asked in a soft tone. Amaka opened the diary and pointed to its faded words. "This diary tells of an old woman and the secret deal you made. It tells the truth about why you add that special ingredient to your food." A heavy silence filled the room. Mama Ifeanyi's hands trembled as she tried to hide the pain in her eyes. "I did it because I was desperate," she began, voice barely a whisper. "After my husband died and my home fell apart, I had no way to feed my family. Then an old woman came to me. She said that if I added a part of myself to my cooking, success would be mine. I believed her. I thought it would bring hope to us all." Amaka listened carefully. "But Mama, your food was loved by so many. Why keep this secret?" she asked. Mama Ifeanyi sighed deeply. "I was scared. I feared that if the truth was known, everyone would turn away. I prayed each day for the magic to work. But now Reverend Ibube's prayer has shown the truth. The power I relied on is no longer hidden." Tears filled Mama Ifeanyi's eyes as she continued. "Now I must find a way to fix this curse. The diary speaks of a path to undo the dark magic, but it may ask a heavy price from me." Amaka gently placed her hand on Mama Ifeanyi's arm. "We must try, Mama. We must heal the hurt that has been done." In that quiet, shadowed kitchen, with the truth laid bare between them, a new resolve took root. The real battle had begun. A battle that would test Mama Ifeanyi's courage and the strength of those who believed in her food. The secret that once brought success now threatened everything, and the journey to redemption had only just started. The morning was heavy with both sorrow and hope. The restaurant lay silent, its tables empty, as if mourning the secrets once hidden within its walls. Mama Ifeanyi sat alone at a worn wooden table in the quiet kitchen, the old diary open before her. Today she faced a choice: continue to live with the burden of her secret, or strive to restore the trust broken in her community. Outside, Reverend Ebube and Amaka gathered with gentle determination. Reverend Ebube stepped forward, speaking softly yet firmly. "You must undo this curse. The diary shows a path to redemption, but it requires a sacrifice." Mama Ifeanyi's eyes filled with tears as she whispered, "I understand. I must pay the price for what I have done." Following the instructions in the diary, Mama Ifeanyi fetched a small bowl, fresh water from the sacred well, and the last lock of her hair, the very lock that had sealed her fate. With trembling hands, she placed the lock into the bowl and began to chant a simple prayer of apology and hope. As she spoke the words, the water shimmered and gradually turned a soft golden hue. Outside, Reverend Ebube and Amaka joined their voices in prayer, their words mingling with the gentle breeze. When the ritual ended, Mama Ifeanyi took the golden water and carefully sprinkled it over every table, chair, and corner of the restaurant. Slowly, the dark curse lifted and the foul scent faded away. One by one, the townspeople returned, their eyes cautious but filled with a new hope. They witnessed the transformation, and in time began to forgive the past. In that quiet, reflective moment, Mama Ifeanyi realized that redemption demanded a great cost, yet the healing of her community was worth every sacrifice. The curse had been lifted, leaving behind a powerful lesson in forgiveness, unity, and the strength of truth. Her secret was no longer a source of shame, but a reminder that even the deepest wounds can mend when hearts come together. Thus, unwavering hope and truth restored all broken lives.